Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. If this is the first time you guys have clicked on my channel, I am a professional makeup artist and have been freelancing as a bridal makeup artist for about 4 years now. I have gone down a whole entire rabbit hole with the worst makeup artist experiences. For this video, I'm going through Quora threads, which I think that's how you pronounce it. It's like Quora, and also Reddit threads, and I found some good ones, guys. This person said, I'm still a little upset about how my graduation makeup turned out. Hired this awesome makeup artist for prom and she did such a beautiful job on me. So beautiful that she didn't even have to bring any product down onto my neck because the foundation and powder combo matched perfectly. That's a really awesome color match if you don't have to bring it down their neck. However, I still do bring product down their neck just to make sure it blends all the way. Whenever people tan, there's always a shadow that gets cast right underneath their chin, so sometimes they're a little bit lighter right in this section. If this person literally got the most perfect color match ever and didn't have to bring it down, then kudos to them. I hired her again for graduation and was highly disappointed. She drove the 30-minute drive to my house and forgot the key to her makeup train at home. I'm guessing it's maybe one of those ones with like all the boxes stacked on top of each other and then you have keys for those trains. However, I don't think I've actually seen anybody lock those, especially if it was just sitting at their house the whole time. She blamed it on her boyfriend who had been playing around with it. Don't even understand like why he was even messing with it. And I totally understand these things happen, but not once did she ever say, I apologize. It was just, I'm so mad at him. If that happened to me, like I would be really pissed too. But at the same time, I would probably be apologizing my butt off to the client because I would feel personally really bad that I'm the reason that I got delayed. You know what I mean? Like it is overall your fault to not check that you have everything. Fortunately for me, I had my own makeup and she used that to do my face, but she was a bit too heavy-handed with my foundation and it didn't extend to my neck. So basically my face and neck were two different colors for my high school graduation. I think the reason why it obviously didn't turn out as good is because the artist wasn't using her own products. And obviously she doesn't know how full coverage it is. She doesn't know how it lays with other products. So that's why it's really important that artists actually use their own materials as opposed to just using your own makeup because they can't really duplicate the same results. Overall, that definitely was the makeup artist's fault at the fact that she didn't have her key. That's why it's always really good to double check and triple check every single thing before you leave the house as a makeup artist. Next one is an actual Ulta experience. Let me preface this by saying that every once in a while, and I don't know if after the certain thing in the world happened that I can't mention on YouTube, and I don't know if Ulta has resumed this. Ulta every once in a while hosted like Urban Decay, It Cosmetics, Bare Minerals events. You basically would have like 15 to 30 minute time period with a makeup artist from that brand along with other prestige consultants from Ulta Beauty. You would do consultations / makeup applications on these people and recommend products and then try to sell as much stuff as you possibly could. I will say, like, I used to work at Ulta for 4 or 5 years and we never were once trained to do makeup on a person's face, but yet they threw us into these events and that's what happened. Sometimes you do actually get a rep from those brands, but there's usually only like 2 reps that come from that brand that actually know the products. Otherwise, you're dealing with Ulta employees that run those events. This person said, I told the lady there repeatedly I never ever use powders that have talc in them because it's super drying and it makes my eczema flare up like crazy. She proceeds to tell me that the Naked Skin powder foundations are talc free. Sounds good, so she cakes it the F on. I looked like I had fondant on my face. And the next day I had to go to the dermatologist to sum it up on the Naked Skin powder foundations ingredient list. Talc is the first ingredient listed. 1, she got an Ulta employee for the Urban Decay event, or 2, she got a very inexperienced Urban Decay employee. But either way, you definitely should be aware, especially if somebody has an allergy, because allergies are a very real thing in this industry. I always ask my clients every single time they sit in my chair if they are allergic or sensitive to anything. When people tell me that they are sensitive to something, then I will check every single box or every ingredient list to make sure that I do not put that on a person's face. But I feel like this was just a person not checking the very first ingredient on the list, which is talc. Yeah, I'm overall really sorry that that person had to deal with the stupidity of the artist. Okay, so this is a little bit of a longer story, but I wanted to include this because it's interesting, guys. It's interesting. We, in parentheses, a coworker, and I had gotten pretty close, so we decided to go right after work. Decided to inspect / try this new place that'll apply makeup. We thought, what the hell? Let me explain something. I have good skin, my friend not so much. She had acne very badly and her face had a lot of pockmarks. Place was kind of iffy. First, not one single customer was there applying or buying. Yeah, I feel like that's a very bad sign whenever nobody is literally getting their makeup done or any customers are in there. Second clue, lights were at a premium, dimly lit, and soft music candles scattered around as if it were a secret amorous rendezvous between two lovers. Yeah, that is really suspicious. Every single experienced makeup artist knows that natural lighting is your best friend. We need all the lighting possible. It gives us like a more true to color representation, especially when you go from inside to outside. So that's why having natural light is your best friend. Otherwise, use really good artificial lighting. Third clue, there was a vast amount of makeup on the dressing table where we were seated to get our makeover. Vast amount of various amount of bottles, sprays, powders, foundations, eyeliners, blushes, contours, eyeshadows, mascaras. You name it, they had at least 20 different varieties on that table. At least they had a variety of products going on. We thought we arrived in makeup heaven. There's a whole bunch of times where I spread out my whole entire kit on the table. People were like, oh my gosh, like I would die to have all that makeup. And yeah, it's a lot of makeup, but we need every single thing, like every single color, every single shade, every single finish. Both of our makeup artists took seriously 2 hours. Maybe that's clue number 4. The only reason you should ever be taking 2 hours on somebody's makeup application is if, number 1, they're doing a luxury skincare prep, kind of like I do for bridal, if you're doing like a cut crease or something, or super dramatic like editorial makeup or something in special effects. Otherwise than that, usually if you take 2 hours to do makeup, you're just very inexperienced as an artist, or you just don't have a lot of practice, and so it's naturally just going to take you longer. Personally, I love someone playing with my face. Could have fallen asleep in those 2 hours, so utterly relaxing. Well, at least she's not stabbing your eyeballs out or anything, so that's good. I thought the artist was being careful, didn't really pay attention as to what she was applying. After the 2 hours, she declared me done and beautiful. I look in the dimly lit mirror and squint to see my gorgeous makeover. I think the reason that they dimly lit the room is just so people couldn't see how bad the makeup was. Okay, decent, I guess, of what I can see. I'm kind of pleased, can't quite see, but okay. So I buy some of the lip gloss and blush, had to buy something. My friend is squealing with delight. Her pockmarks are seriously gone. It's a miracle. She's convinced she needs everything that the artist put on her. She was set back approximately $300. Oh my gosh. Okay, so were these people like salespeople at the same time? I just don't understand this. We walk out of there into the summer warmth and the bright rays of the sun. People are on the sidewalk giving us looks. We think, damn, we must look really good. We got smiles on our faces as we head for our car. She pulls down the visor with the mirror on it as I do the same on my side. We let out a wild animal scream worthy of mothers covering their little baby's ears and running for shelter. Car mirrors in general literally are the worst for looking at your makeup, let me tell you. So any makeup application that already is bad is going to look like 10 times worse. We looked like two crazy clowns that had just escaped from the circus, blues and pinks so dark, blush so heavy on our whole cheeks, lipstick that outlined not only our lips, but beyond that made us look like we had duck lips. You could see the foundation line along our jawline. If our hair was wild, we could have easily passed for an escapee of a straitjacket. I sped home, not looking at people in the next lane, but also her and I laughing so hard that we were crying. Thought the makeup was going to drip/run down our faces. We got to my house and we had so many layers of makeup on. It took an hour to scrub it off. Oh my God. We had more layers on than an old house had paint on its walls. This person gets an A+ for analogies. This is great. We didn't get a makeover. We got makeup way over the top like circus top. Nope, never went back to makeup hell, and that stuff I bought went into the drawer with never to use crap. That junk drawer that you have in your makeup vanity that you never touch. That's that drawer she's talking about. Well, I mean, at least her friend and her got like a good laugh about it. I feel really bad for the friend because she bought like $300 worth of stuff. You know, you live, you learn. 20 years, you can look back on it and be like, yeah, we did that. Next one says, my horror story happened pretty recently. I had never been to a Mac counter, so I was pretty excited when my hubby was like, let's drive an hour to the closest Mac so you can check it out. This hits home because I used to work for Mac. I was like a kid in a candy store looking at all the pretties with my husband dutifully in tow. The MUA at the counter was like, I will totally give you a makeover because I love it when we have newbies in here. It usually shows that somebody has like a little bit less experience if they're just like really excited to go go and do makeup on people's faces because they're just trying to get the experience, and it's just like a fun thing to them at that point in time. Not like makeup isn't fun. She was probably really thrilled because she's like, I made it, I'm here, I work for Mac. But yeah, that's kind of a sign that somebody is really new at their job because they're just genuinely excited to like throw makeup on people's faces. I sat my happy ass down in the chair and let her do her magic. I had no idea how bad it was. My husband kept giving me looks like he was watching a train wreck while I was smiling like an idiot. Yeah, that's probably clue number one. When guys notice that it's not going so well, that's when you know it's really bad. The only complaint I had at that point was that she kept stabbing me in the eyeball with the 217 brush. P.S. She actually scratched my contact lens to shit. That is really rough. And 217 brushes are the fluffy brushes. If a makeup artist can't watch their pressure or are really rough around people's eyes, they haven't learned how to do that yet, which is another skill that an artist has to master. So after she was done, she told me to check it out. When I saw my face, I almost cried. The foundation was 2 shades dark, the contour was on my cheekbone on the left side and on my jaw on the right, so she had like this uneven like contour thing going on. One eye had a wing to my eyebrow and the other had a nub. My eyebrows curved down my temples and almost touched in the middle, so they were like little sad things that were like meh. Plus they were also almost black, and I have light brown / red hair. Bright purple eyeshadow that was splotchy and unblended. Bright pink blush only on the apples of my cheeks, which gives you very like plump looking cheeks, by the way, and super glittery highlighter all over my face. The icing on the cake was the overlined lips with Whirl lip liner and the Angel lipstick over top that was unblended. Whirl and Angel actually do make a really beautiful lipstick combo if you know how to blend it correctly. Whirl has like more of a mauve brown kind of undertone. Angel is a little bit more of a cool toned purplish kind of lipstick, so usually those two kind of balance each other out. I have done that combo on people before and it is really pretty. But yeah, if you don't blend them very well, it's like brown and then pink. It's very weird looking. I feel like every single artist when they first begin is just really excited to play with those really bold colors. On Instagram, you know, people do like these cool like green cut creases and these purple eyeshadow looks, and so that's what they want to do on other people. They just want to throw themselves in there and experiment with colors, whereas usually experienced makeup artists kind of stick with neutrals and then perfect that. Then she said, I stood at the mirror and tried to blend it with my fingers, but no luck, meaning the lipstick. I was speechless and my husband was shocked. I politely thanked her and bought the lipstick in Brave and then went to the car. I like that she didn't even buy the same lipstick that the person put on her, which is funny. Brave is actually a mid-tone pink kind of color. I hadn't brought my makeup in my bag that day and had no way to take the makeup under, not makeover, get it, off. The worst part was that my husband had planned for me to get a makeover and he had bought tickets to the aquarium to surprise me with after. Oh my gosh, he probably felt so freaking bad. This is great. He told me I was still beautiful and that it was up to me whether or not I felt like going to the aquarium. That is a good husband. Get yourself a man that supports you no matter what. We ended up going and the first thing I did was go to the bathroom, wash it all off. I never go back to that MAC counter. Yeah, your husband's incredibly sweet. And yeah, good on you that you still went to the aquarium and still ended up hopefully having a good time and made good of the day. That seems like some seriously messed up shit, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. It seems like you ran into a very inexperienced MAC makeup artist. Yeah, I don't have an excuse for that. Next one is kind of long here, but it says, I went to a wedding and my aunt and uncle had paid for her MUA to do hair and makeup for my cousins and I as a fun treat. The original MUA ended up having a serious personal emergency and had to leave, so she called her studio to ask for another person to come do the last 3 of us. She told us to expect a girl who we actually knew, and I got pretty excited because that girl had always had amazing makeup. Instead of that girl, a woman showed up who was in her 50s. From the start, it was obvious that she had a very different style than what the other girl would have. Let me point out the fact that age really shouldn't be a factor, but it kind of is at the same time. And I know that in this industry, people kind of tend to discriminate a little bit. However, a lot of the times older artists have trouble adapting to like the newer trends and the newer styles of makeup, and they kind of just do whatever was popular at their time. She pulled out a palette of all blue shades, and yeah, that's very like 80s kind of style. I said I'm not really into blue for that event, and she said she asked for neutrals, and she said I only work with classics, honey, which means that she definitely is stuck in her ways. Then I reiterated that I don't want blue eyeshadow, and she told me that was literally the only eyeshadow she brought. Why would you just automatically assume that every single person would want blue eyeshadow? And also, what makes me more concerned is that these last 3 people that didn't get their makeup done by the primary artist are literally going to look so bad, and then the rest of the bridal party is probably going to be looking like hella good. I asked her to just use a darker foundation shade to add some definition to the eye area, and that would be just fine. So she's thinking that if she puts like a darker foundation, like kind of like in her crease or something, and maybe sets it with a powder, then that'll kind of give like a more natural kind of shadow, which that definitely works. I'd probably use a concealer shade instead of a foundation just so it doesn't move around as much. But besides that though, I think she's like on the right track with that. She agreed. Then she asked me to close my eyes, which made me nervous because I usually do eye makeup with my eyes open. So I know how it will look with my eyes open. When makeup artists actually do makeup on somebody else, we'll have them completely close their eyes. I mean, there's realistically no way for like us to do your makeup with your eyes open. It would be very difficult and people would be blinking like nonstop. Then she said, turns out she actually used the blue eyeshadow. When I was mad about it, she was shocked and she thought it would be fine because she knew I'd love it when I saw it. I didn't love it at all and she insisted that I was still just surprised, and after a while I'd love it. People want what they want. If they tell you that they do not want something and pretty adamant about it, I'm pretty sure that you should have just done what they asked. They're the ones that are paying for the makeup, not you. So you definitely have to listen to your clients. So this is like a big no-no professional wise. Then for my hair, I asked for curls, but she didn't have a curling iron with her. Now, why would you show up without a curling iron if you know you're going to do hair too? What was she gonna curl with, her fingers? She didn't know how to do it with the straightening iron. I stupidly let her try to do a style instead, and she did braids like this, with black ties on my golden blonde hair. Also, braids don't photograph well at all. Wait, braids were pretty much like cornrows at that point in time because I just pulled up the picture, which I'll insert here so you guys can see. Wait, so this person didn't bring any styling tools or anything, and she just wanted to like put your hair into braids, just hoping that would fix the issue. Okay. She said I ended up undoing my hair and washing off all the makeup before the wedding, which you should have. Like, good on you. It was a huge pain in the ass because she used so much product on the braids that my hair held the crimped looking shape. Oh no. I went with a tight bun to keep the hair from coiling back into weird curlies and went barefaced. My aunt called the salon the next day to complain, and it turned out that the original stylist had talked to this woman on the phone and told her to send the other girl. She didn't even tell the other girl, she just showed up herself. She was new to the studio and mainly worked with older clients. Edit, my cousin had just had surgery on her jaw and had a lot of swelling. She asked the woman if she could tone it down with contouring a little, and the woman used blush as a contour shade. Oh my gosh, this just seems like an overall bad situation. She was the one that answered the stylist's original phone call, so she was only supposed to relay the information to the other stylist that was supposed to be really good. But she showed up instead. Hopefully she got fired after that because I feel like that would be grounds for termination. This one says, my worst experience with an MUA was pretty recent. I was at a Bloomingdale's buying one of the By Terry Ombre Black Star shadow sticks, and the sales associate tells me that they're having a makeup event. Figured it would be a great way to try some things I've been curious on. Now, I will preface this by saying I am not a confrontational person. I am quite beta and don't like offending people, especially when they're providing a service. With this, I really wish that people would speak out more instead of just complaining on Reddit threads about this. Makeup artists will never know that people are unhappy if people don't vocalize this. They're just automatically assuming that that artist will like know they don't like it and not say anything to them. That's one of the things that I really want to stress as a makeup artist. Like, if you don't like something as a client, please just tell your makeup artist. It will literally not offend us at all. On to the makeover day. I arrive barefaced, just moisturizer on, and meet the MUA. I should have known by how her makeup looked that this MUA was not as great as the Bloomingdale's rep made her out to be, but I kept the faith. To be fair, there's multiple different times where I've shown up at weddings before completely barefaced because it's like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And people kind of just like have to trust me a little bit because they've never met me before, have no idea what kind of work I do. Sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. She starts off by applying a By Terry CC cream that was too dark and started to majorly pill up on me. It could be reacting with the moisturizer that the client had on previously. That's why I prefer to take like everything off, because I know that my products and my skincare are going to work well with the foundations and the products that I have. She didn't even blend it into my skin. She just slapped it on with a paddle foundation brush. I could see the streaks everywhere. So I took it upon myself to try and blend the CC cream in while she was getting more products. I can only imagine like this makeup artist turning around and this person's like, to try to blend it in really quickly so the artist like doesn't see her. She then buffs on some Eve Lum mineral powder on top of the CC cream, which wasn't too bad. Now onto the eyes. After poorly concealing my under eyes, she asked me what type of eyeshadow I wanted. I told her I was feeling bronzy copper. Her blending skills were atrocious and she was really rough on my eyelids. Again, pressure is a thing that makeup artists have to learn. Because you can't feel it yourself, you really have to concentrate on the actual pressure you're applying on somebody else. She then used a brow bone highlight that was way darker than my skin tone, which technically isn't a highlight at that point in time. It was a medium peach shade for Christ's sake, and slapped some glitter on it. She then poorly applied mascara, made my brows look awful after filling them in, and almost stabbed my eye when tight lining. Okay, so tight lining is one of those things that I personally, as an artist, prefer not to do on people because of the fact that a lot of people are very sensitive around their eye area. People's eyes start watering and it's like a whole thing. After the eyes, she went for my face. She asked if I wanted bronzer. I adamantly shook my head no. I didn't even want to think about what her use of bronzer would look like on me. She then gave me an orangey pink stripe of blush on my cheekbones and put some other shimmery thing on it, which is probably the highlighter, but it probably wasn't the right color. The only part I liked was the lip color she used on me. It was a great peach lip with a gorgeous pinky peach lip gloss, both by Terry products. After she was done, I tried to contain my horror because I didn't want to offend her, but I was appalled. Everything was horrible and the CC cream oxidized on me. I asked her to please bring the CC cream down my neck and she was like, well, it's natural for your face to be darker than your neck. And I'm like, what in my head? This is why you match your foundation to your neck/chest. And of course, throughout the makeover, she kept saying that everything looked so good and amazing on me in hopes that I would want to buy everything she used. No. The only thing I purchased was the lip color she used. Love this. Mainly because I'm on a budget and could only afford that. I looked like a hot mess and just wanted to get home as fast as possible. I could have and have done a much better job. The bitchy, passive-aggressive me wants to go back there with a good face and makeup on, aka my skills, and rub it in their faces, but that's just petty anger. I would totally do that, girl. You have every right to. The other sign of an inexperienced makeup artist, which I have addressed in a video, 10 warning signs of a bad makeup artist, is when makeup artists, when they're doing your makeup, will like overly compliment themselves or I guess try to boost their skills by just the verbiage that they use. If a makeup artist either has little to no experience, they'll usually think that what they're doing is like really good genuinely, or they know that it's going horribly and they'll try to boost your ego or try to like reassure you and themselves that they're doing a really good job. I mean, I'm glad you like the lipstick, but other than that though, I definitely would have come back in with a full face of makeup and been like, this is what your makeup should have looked like. Okay, this is the last one and it does come with a picture too, which I wanted to throw in here. So this person says, I am very lucky that the story I'm about to tell didn't precede an event I was really invested in. The worst face of makeup I've ever experienced was during an MUA's job interview. A friend of mine owns a pinup photography company and we are in the market for a new stylist. They asked me to be a model because I've worked with them a ton of times. The woman they were interviewing had a great looking portfolio and claimed to have 10 years of experience in the industry. Let me tell you guys that literally the amount of years that somebody has as an experience level has no correlation to actually how good they are. Because I have met people that have only been doing makeup for maybe like a few months or something and kind of are just like naturally gifted and I don't understand. And then I've met people that are more than like 20 years in the industry and literally have the shittiest makeup. Unless you actively practice in your field, you're not going to get better. She said they asked for her to do a classic winged eye and red lip. She started on my face and immediately I noticed some really strange techniques and tools. I'm all for using paintbrushes if they're dupes for really useful makeup tools, but she was using floppy old paint brushes with really long bristles to apply blue eyeshadow to a bare lid. Let me stress that there are definitely makeup brushes that are paint brushes in my kit that I use for makeup. There is like a fine line though between actually getting paint brushes as opposed to stuff that could pass for makeup brushes. Then the fact that she did not go into the primer or anything and just tried to slap on blue eyeshadow, which where was that in the brief? She was asked to do a classic winged eyeliner and a red lipstick. Nowhere was blue mentioned in that whole entire brief. She wasn't getting much color payoff, so she just overworked my lids until they stung. So she winged out an equally unpigmented eyeshadow. She didn't even bring falsies, so she borrowed some and glued them like she had never used them before in her life. That's what I'm saying. 10 years of experience means nothing. She put a big splotch of yellow concealer in the middle of my forehead and used thick swaths of under eye concealer, but did not apply foundation. I have jet black hair and she filled in my eyebrows with auburn shadow. Needless to say, she was not hired. She didn't even tell me what she did with the red lipstick. I kind of wanted to see, because like red lipstick, if you can't line it right or apply it correctly, it could turn out really bad. Probably didn't have a red lipstick though, considering that she didn't have an eyeliner. Are you guys ready for this picture? I don't think you're ready. There is so many things wrong. Okay, first of all, it looks like she used a brow powder for her eyebrows, but there's like patches over here that are missing. With the eyeshadow, oh no, I know what happened. She didn't have an eyeliner, so she put a darker shadow on her lash line that transferred up into her lids. Like there's no eyeshadow there. It's literally like that is the eyeshadow that transferred. It looks like she stuck the lashes like halfway up her eyelid and is not even sitting anywhere near her lash line. So whenever she opens, there's probably this huge gap going on. It doesn't even look like there's any face makeup on. She says she brought in a portfolio though, so I'm kind of wondering what the portfolio looked like. Also, it's just like heavily photoshopped and everything was just face tuned to shit. Anyways, guys, that is about it for this video. If you guys did stick all the way to the end and really like this type of content, then definitely go ahead and give me a big thumbs up here. And if you guys have not subscribed to my channel already, please go ahead and subscribe. As always, I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day and I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.